this mount is going to give you the advantage in a 5-shot string of getting to a sight picture or a red dot reference faster than if it was mounted low.
Hello? Who is this?
We have her. You have 24 hours.
Help me! Time. 3 minutes slower than last time.
I don't know what I did wrong. I mean, how was my footwork?
I actually think you need to focus more on CQB footwork.
Really? Oh man, maybe the optic is too high.
Actually, I think that's not high enough. How many booms did you count?
Let's see. Boom, 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 and I see the dot.
Yeah, that's too many booms. You should be able to hip fire that gun. 1, 2 booms max.
Dang, okay. How do my shoulders look? Were they high enough, you think? Or, you know, am I twisting and stuff? How was that?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. You looked a little bit too natural. You wanna look like Rock'em Sock'em robots that articulate at the hip.
Okay, like this?
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then...
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, gotcha. We'll try that again. Cool, is that all?
No, next time mention the teams more and use words like situational awareness a ton.
Gotcha.
So I'm here, and the goal is to get behind the optic, but the gunfight starts here when I see him in the threshold. It's boom, 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 I already see the dot.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the agency. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to carry a little backpack gun that you leave in your sand-colored Toyota Tundra that inevitably will get stolen because you have a bunch of Glock stickers on the back. Today, we're taking a look at this little 9mm upper that Hammy of Hammy 3D Prints was cool enough to send out. Now, he sponsored the last few videos, and he sponsored this one, and the terms of payment were, hey, you want to shoot my little 9mm upper? And I was like, yeah, I will take this as a form of payment to plug his channel. So go check out his stuff down in the description below. He makes a whole bunch of 3D printed items, kill flashes, light covers, stands, and different kinds of mounting solutions for putting guns on grid wall and slat wall, pegboard, all this kind of stuff. And he just made some Car 15 cheek risers, which are pretty cool. I don't have a Car 15 brace on this because PSA was super slow in their shipping. It would have been really nice to have a cheek riser on this. So PDWs, I feel like PDWs might be making a comeback just because I've been seeing them pop up here and there, be like the Flux Raider or the TP9. I don't know if it's just like schizophrenia or if I'm genuinely starting to see them more. And I also was watching a Hot video the other day, and he said that he thought PDWs were going to be like the next big trend.
I think PDW might be the next trend after civilian IAR. I'm even putting together a PDW build because I'm interested in the concept.
If that's true, that kind of works out perfectly and coincides with this little upper that we got from Hammy. Now, it felt like a few years ago, people kind of wrote off PCCs, PDWs, whatever you want to call them. People were also saying that 5.56 wasn't going to be good enough. Intermediate rounds weren't good enough to defeat body armor. We needed to go long range, and we needed to have 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor, and we needed to be practicing at 700 yards, sniping moving targets and all this stuff. People had this image in their mind that something really bad was on the verge of happening, and we all needed to dial in and get ready to fight people with body armor. It's just one of those trends that comes and goes. And if it is true that PDWs are going to be the next trend, I think that is pretty much one reason, and that's going to be cost. 9mm is cheaper than 5.56. And I think of guns almost like vehicles, right? When the economy is good, gas prices are low, You drive your truck every day to work. It's your daily driver. You don't care. Gas is $1.50, $1.70, right? Remember those days? As soon as gas starts to jumps up to $3, $4 in some instances, I think people start to go, all right, love my truck, I'm not giving my truck up, but let's look on the used marketplace. Let me go get a 2012 Honda Civic and just drive that to work and then keep my truck for like the weekends, having fun, taking the family out into town, that kind of stuff. Guns are kind of the same way. Everybody loves their ARs, but not everybody can afford to do 300 rounds every week or, you know, really even every month for a lot of people. And something like this, I think kind of fills that void. A little 9mm upper that takes, you know, what feels like normal PMags. There's a little insert on the inside that allows for the feeding of a 9mm. And you know, you get all the same. Externally, this gun looks just like a normal 5.56, little 10.5. I think this is a really good way to kind of get your reps in still and get training and get the feeling of using a normal 5.56. You can go to the range still, get all the same movements and repetitions. You can do all your flat range, you know, Mike Glover LARPing while shooting it at, you know, I'm not good at math. It's like half the cost. We'll say half the cost, you know, because 9mm are like 20 cents, whereas 5.56 is like up to like 50 something, depends on where you get it from. If you're like me, you buy the cheap stuff from Academy, it's like 52 cents a round. I think 9mm PCCs are also good for probably children, family members that are disabled, people that don't want to shoot a 5.56. 5.56 doesn't have a lot of recoil, obviously, but you know, you might have some older people in your family or whatever. For all your prepping needs, you get everybody in the family armed. Some people get 9mm, some people get 5.56, etc., right? Not a prepping channel, but you know, you kind of get what I mean. I'm not gonna talk too much about like SHTF scenarios where you have a little bag gun and you have a Flux Raider that you carry if you need to egress from the city and whatnot. One thing, I don't live in a city, so I don't know much about that. I can't speak to that. And I'll kind of leave that to like Brass Facts to educate the masses on all that kind of stuff, because he's really dialed in on the PDW world and all that kind of stuff. I think they're very fun to shoot. I had a blast shooting this little gun. Hammy usually has it suppressed, and I'm sure it's even better when it's like that. And if it were full auto, it would probably be even better. This particular setup doesn't solve any of the issues that you face when putting an AR-15, a DI gun, into a backpack. I could just as easily make this, you know, swap this out for a 10.5 upper and fit it into the bag the exact same way and have ammunition that is better than 9mm. Where I think that PDCCs really shine would be like piston stuff or the TP9, some of those little setups. They're like pistols with extra steps, essentially. It's better than just having like a traditional handgun, but it's not as good as having like a rifle. Of course, your muzzle velocity and whatnot's gonna be way better on this. Look, if you gotta break it down and fit it into a bag, might as well go for another inch, get you an 11.5, rock a little Colt Commando action like it's heat, and carry that in a backpack. I think that that would be probably preferable than just running a little 9mm. But this thing is certainly fun, and I think that that was the whole point of this build. I don't think he's grabbing this gun to do his home defense. I think he's got a little bit better setups for that. So what are the cons of having a little PDW setup like this, right? Well, it's still gonna fire a 9mm. It's not the best thing at stopping threats. I'd rather have, if I had to defend my life against a man-sized target, I would rather have 5.56, 223 over 9mm. That's just how it is. These are the realities of the world in which we live. I think that PCCs still only exist in the civilian market because we can't have submachine guns. There would be no reason to ever buy another semi-automatic PCC if we could have submachine guns. I think everybody would just carry Glocks and like MP5Ks in their bag. That's what I would do at least. Or I would just carry an MP5K and not even carry another pistol. Externally, it looks so much like a 5.56 that it talks to me like the Green Goblin and just begs me to feed it a little bit of 5.56. It can have a little 5.56 if it's good. Originally, I wanted a Car 15 brace on this, but that didn't come in time. I will probably put some photos up on Instagram. Maybe by the time you're watching this video, you can kind of see what it looks like, because the Car 15 brace will look really sick on this. I have this Mission First tactical thing and it sucks and I hate it and it's ugly, and I don't even know why Mission First is still in business, but what can you do? But that's pretty much all there is to it. C7 upper, EOTech up on top. I wanted to have a Surefire M500. I wanted to mount that as my light for this gun. A guy on Instagram, Mr. Beepers, hit me up. He said, hey, I have a Surefire M500. Would you like to showcase it on the channel? And I had plans to run that on this little setup, but unfortunately, I just could not get it to fit, so we just went with the traditional handguard. So RIP, but I will still do a little cutaway and we can showcase that Surefire M500 because I think it's a pretty cool light, even if it's only like 15 lumens. So I wanted to showcase this light real quick because Mr. Beeper sent it out and it's worth looking at because it gives me big SWAT vibes. So if we take a look at it, it's very nice. Pretty good for an incandescent bulb. On the left side of the gun as well, there's like a little clicky where you can click it on and then click it off, and the momentary is on this side. It's just a big pad. That's pretty cool. And then it comes in kind of like with a built-in sort of light cover, because you can turn it on, and then if this knob is turned this way, you won't see anything, and then you flip it and then you can see. So sorry, Hammy, but you don't need to make a light cover for this because it already has one built in, but very cool. So thank you to Mr. Beepers for sending this thing out once again. I appreciate you. I'm gonna send this back to you at some point. PCCs are cool. They certainly have their place, I think. And what I do think is interesting is, like, if you look at real militaries in the world and special operations and all this kind of stuff. Special operations, guys don't even like use submachine guns anymore. It's all short-barreled rifles, just because everybody kind of has figured out that 9mm and pistol rounds, they're good, but they're not as good as rifle rounds, you know what I mean? Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out Hammy's website. Use code ESPO if you want to buy some 3D printed accessories, such as this kill flash or some of the stands. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.